channel. This is Art with Lita, and I am Lita. Quick question. When do you know that you're an artist? Well, it's when you dip your fingers into your paint water to smooth your hair out because it's frizzing everywhere. Anyways, today I'm going to show you where are they? There they are. How I made these two bad boys. Those ones right there. I prepared them with a watercolor base, and then I went in with Graphite Aquarelle, and it was a lot of fun. So get your cup of coffee and come with me because we're going to have some fun today, and we're going to make something very pretty. All right, so the background that I made for these, I prepared it by first taking the paper and just spraying it down with my spray bottle. Now, I did not thoroughly wet the paper. All I did was just lightly spray it. Then I took a loaded paintbrush that I had loaded up with paint, and I just dropped it into those water droplets and kind of mixed and swirled it around, and I tipped my paper this way and that so that the color would just move on its own and create something very dynamic and very just fun and moving. And I think it's really neat the way those little white specks come through. It almost looks like water droplets or sparkles or something. Now, this paper is Fabriano 25% cotton studio watercolor paper. It is not the most expensive watercolor paper out there. It's one I highly recommend if you're just a hobby artist that just has fun and just uses art as a form of recreation and as a hobby. That is a Faber-Castell Graphite Aquarelle pencil. Now, it is a graphite that actually dissolves in water. So you can put your lines down as scribbly as you want, but as soon as you touch a damp paintbrush to it, it just dissolves into this beautiful wash of dark graphite. And you can see that's exactly what's happening right there. And I don't know, folks, this is the sort of thing that it gets me excited, and I'm just blown away almost every single time I get out these pencils and I use them. They're just so beautiful and so gorgeous. They're not very expensive. If you want to try out a new art supplies, get some graphite pencils, some graphite aquarelle pencils, and give them a try because they're worth it. They're worth every single penny you pay for them. They do come in several different hardnesses. That means that some of them are lighter and some of them are darker. I'm going with just a light and a dark one for these two little paintings I'm doing. Now, that is a killer whale, and I'm just setting it aside right now so that it can dry off. I think I'm getting my reference photo up, but you'll notice that I really deviate from my reference photo for this. I really give that whale a U shape so that it'll fit on the paper. But I think it's nice. It's fun. It looks like it's moving or jumping or something, and it got my kids' approval. My kids came and they saw it, and they approved of my U-shaped whale. One thing that I am doing as I sketch this out is I establish where my lighter areas are going to be and where I think some of my darkest shadows should go down. That way it's just easier when it comes to laying down the color. Guys, you can see how easy it is to make something that looks really nice And you can do it fast too. I mean, these paintings only took me a few minutes. I had prepared the paper a day ahead of time, and really without having any idea what I was going to do with it. But I love painting whales. I think they're so pretty, and they're such majestic creatures. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put some whales on this. It's the perfect background for a whale, you know, hot pink and bright blue. I mean, what else could be a background for a whale, you know? So that's what I'm doing. And I am just going to be going back and forth working on each one and letting the other one dry, because that is one thing about these pencils, is that you really should not use them on wet paper, because you can end up damaging your paper or even damaging the pencil itself. So always allow it to fully dry in between washes. Another thing is that once you put this down, it is permanent. You can erase it while it's still dry, but it becomes permanent once it's wet, and there's no getting it off. So that is just a little bit of something to be aware of there. In my reference photo, you couldn't see the other part of his tail, so I decided to just add it in anyways and just try to imagine that that's where it would be. It looked odd having only one bit of his tail there. Now my killer whale is fully dry, and he's ready for another layer of graphite. You can see I had tested my paper there. I kept on putting my hand down on it, and it just wasn't dry enough yet, and I was afraid of, you know, damaging the paper or something. So I gave it a blast with my hairdryer to get it fully dry. You can see I'm not being precious where I put those lines. I'm just kind of scribbling the color in, because as soon as I hit it with water, it'll dissolve into that beautiful wash. And the pencil lines, they don't disappear entirely, but they come very, very close to disappearing. And so I'm happy to just scribble it down any old way. I do consider these to be just a sketch, and I'm just having fun at this point. Have you guys ever seen that movie, Free Willy? I used to watch that thing as a child, and I'm telling you, I think it left a permanent love for whales and for killer whales on my little brain as a child. I'm going through and I'm just darkening everything up the same as I did with the other one. Now I am leaving parts of the whale that are a little bit lighter, a little bit more gray in color as the light hits it in different ways. I did have a reference photo for this whale, but I followed it very, very, very loosely. I don't think it had any of those white patches on it, and it certainly wasn't in this position. So it was just a very loose thing. In art, it's so nice when you finally reach a point where you can start to break free of your reference photos and doing what you have, you know, what you have in your mind and your brain, and having it actually turn out and look the way you want. For me, that's something I had always struggled with. I was always so dependent on those reference photos and then making it look, you know, exactly like the reference. But you know, you don't have to. It's your artwork. Why should it look like the reference? Why can't it look like something else entirely? So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to just make it my own thing. And there you see I have some Winsor Newton ink. That is a white ink. It's very opaque. And I'm going to go through and I'm just going to brighten up some of the white areas because they look just a tad bit grayish, like a colored gray almost, with all that dark next to it. So this is just going to brighten it up a bit. Now, as I put it on, I'm not putting it on fully opaque. I am allowing it to be just a little bit transparent so that a little bit of color still comes through, because I'm not trying to make something that is super flat. I do want there to be color shining through these whales all the way through. I'm just adding some water droplets there, and then I give up and I just start splashing the ink around, which is a lot of fun. And it also gives the impression that maybe he's jumping out of the water, or maybe he's swimming with the stars. I don't know. Whatever he's doing, it's something beautiful and gorgeous and just majestic, I guess. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps my channel. It lets YouTube know that people watch this sort of thing. I guess those would be water droplets. And then he's getting the same treatment with lots and lots of white specks of ink all over him. And it wouldn't be complete without a few shining stars here and there. Well, what do you think? It's awfully pretty, huh? I'm telling you, you guys should just get some Graphite Aquarelle, make a nice colored background, use all the bright colors you can think of, and then just go ahead and sketch something and just make something fun. Don't try to stick too closely to your reference photo. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You know what? If you make a mistake, learn from it and move on. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Lita out. Hey, let me know, which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments.